Welcome into Rover Sports, the show. And during this quarantine edition, we have a very special guest. And this time of the year, Wes, a lot of people think their first thought is March Madness, maybe the Masters. But for those that live in the Pennsylvania area on the East Coast, the John Singer tournament, I mean, it was one of the big tournaments that has really occurred, and it's a high school tournament. It's one of the best high school tournaments you're ever going to see, and you are a champion. You're a multi-time champion. Why don't you fill me in on your bio with your Pong career and being in the John Singer tournament, Wes?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to hop on. So a little bio, my ping pong career, grew up in a pretty competitive family, have older brother, younger brother. My dad was always into ping pong and sort of always grew up playing and, got competitive. There was times when it made me stronger, times where I would, if one of us lost. In the earlier days, my brother Brendan or I, we'd have to duck because my dad would sometimes throw the paddle. So, sort of had to be prepared. And I think that I was just always playing, always around the game, whether it's watching football, playing ping pong, multitasking, killing time. Just, it was always something that I knew I was good at. And in my earlier days, I knew that there was a ping pong tournament at Friend Central. And I was like, I was ready for my moment in it. And yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask. We're gonna take this thing back to the beginning stages, and you mentioned your dad playing ping pong, and your dad. I've gotten to see him play. He's a pretty consistent player. He's a very tough competitor, and I'm sure that really motivated you a lot. But then having a brother. When did you know that Brendan was for real in the sport of ping pong? And is he a guy that was just really quick? I mean, because I know your style, but I want to be familiar with his style of ping pong.
Early on, Brendan and I were competing in every sport, whether it's Madden, 2K, ping pong, tennis, basketball, hitting, there was always, I think we were always, both of us were always a little good with the racket sports. And, early on, Brendan had a game, his game in every sport is, he's got the skill, but he's also going to try to get in your head. And, he's a guy who's going to talk a lot of shit very condescendingly and very subtly. And, we were always going at it at a young age in ping pong. Him with he's very consistent. And my game was more, I could be consistent. But, I had the power with my two-handed backhand. So, a little contrast as we've progressed now. I'm very confident to say that I'm the better player. I'm sure he'd say otherwise, but yeah.
Yeah. So the two-handed backhand. I mean, how the heck did this come about? How did this come about? Were you struggling with the one-hander? Were people in your family against it? I mean, there's probably a lot of pressure for you to stay like a, pretty, because Brendan, I don't think he had a one-handed bat or two-handed. I mean, how'd you find that shot, and then how'd you cope with all the criticism that decision entailed?
As I said, I grew up playing tennis, so I sort of just took my strokes on the court and put them on a smaller surface, and didn't really think about it. I'm going to grab my paddle now to show you the form.
Yeah, I'm trying to clear up your end here because it's a little bit blurry. It's blurry.
Okay,
but there it
my
is.
Paddle.
There it is. And that isn't even that paddle is like a paddle. You could see it like an arcade. I mean, that's like not.
It's not the paddle, but this is the one I used. This is actually my game used paddle for the tournament.
And so you used that as a freshman.
I did. I used this and sophomore actually. So yeah, and as I try to use a two-handed, both hands don't fit on the paddle. It's not really a secret, but I think as you just keep playing, you don't really think about it. It just flows and it it happens to fit, and you don't know how. You just gotta. I just happened to fit them both, and it's always been my shot. And ironically enough, I'm playing a lot more tennis before all of this, but and now my backhand in tennis is gone, unfortunately. But that's a story for another time.
But that's part of the sacrifices that you make, maybe to the sport of ping pong, or maybe just that's life, maybe it can come back.
I mean, I think it could. If this virus ever ends and I'm able to get back on the tennis court, I would love to rediscover my backhand.
All right, so let's get to the nitty gritty here. So Brendan, how many titles? John Singer.
Brendan's got one. So Brendan actually, I was in 8th grade at the time. Brendan was he was in 11th grade, junior in high school, and he won the tournament, defeating one of my best friends and John Singer legend Jake Schlesinger in the championship. And then the next year, I knew I was eager to enter that tournament. I'd been telling a lot of people, when I get in high school, Brendan won, but I'm going to win it. And
right,
Brendan won it. And then the next year,
we're a little frozen here. Let's hope we can get out of it. I'm wondering why.
Yeah, you're a little frozen.
Are you not frozen?
I am not frozen.
Let me think.
And
can I change the Wi-Fi and see if we can keep rocking?
Let's go for it.
Okay. Whoa. Looks like we're back, actually.
Yo, yo, yo.
We made it. We made it through.
We're back.
It was just a green screen effect. But we're continuing on. We're continuing on, Wes. I'm really sorry about the technical difficulties, my friend. So we're talking about. So Brendan won 1 year. I never knew this. So you played as a freshman. You came in. Brendan was there. Sless was there. How did that tournament turn out?
I came as a freshman. Brendan is defending his title, and he's trying to get that. He's a senior in high school, trying to go out on top, trying to go out as a champion. I'm entering round one. I can't remember my opponent, but I know Brendan's round one opponent is a name you'll remember, Alex Sheltzer. So Brendan scored.
The lefty.
Round one, he was a tennis player, and I think Brendan underestimated him, and he got knocked out round one. So Brendan's eliminated. First day of the tournament, Brendan's out.
Was that at Rex?
That was in Rex.
And was there a large crowd around, like gathering behind the underdog?
The first couple days are it's just tables there all over. So there's not much. There's not much of an audience. You're never prepared for the finals.
Just what a shock! And Alex came in there and probably had no expectation at all.
No, he's a high energy guy, a lot of confidence. So I think that Brendan didn't know what he was up against.
And is it 1 game to 21?
Yeah, so that's part of the issue, I think, in the tournament. I don't even know if it's still going on, but I think that, the one game can really – it takes people more than one game to get going,
Yeah, in 1 game, anything can really happen.
As I'll get to my junior year. But, so, yeah, Brendan was out. I forget who I played round one, but it was I don't remember my road, but I know that, I wound up in the Final Four. The Final Four ends up me, Declan. Oh, no, he wasn't even in high school. It was me, Sheltzer,
Wow.
Schlesinger, and
A teacher?
the fourth might have been actually Phil Rosenblum, who was a senior at the time. And
But you're there. I mean, we
I'm
just get
there.
past the early rounds. Was it? And it was one game series. And
In-game series, the Final Four is best of 3.
I
So,
think were you playing with house money, or were you a marked man because of your brother?
I mean,
Going
people
there.
knew, I think, people knew that I had it. Like, I wasn't low on confidence. But I think that, Jake had just lost, and, I think he was hungry for a title. It comes from a big ping pong family. And
Yeah, and then Brendan was gone, so he was the clear-cut guy.
Brendan's gone. It was my time to shine. So I don't remember the specifics, but I wind up in the finals. It's me versus Jake, and we're playing in Shimada. Whole school is watching. Legends have played there. Me, Brendan, Hakeem Warwick, Mustafa Shakur. Just
Yeah, Devin,
Devin.
Emil Jefferson.
Later, DeAndre Hunter later.
Yeah,
Here I am gracing the championship,
right.
and me versus Jake. He comes out with a big audience, a big entourage.
Oh, it's like Mayweather.
He's got a hood on. He's got I think he's got Rocky music playing. He's got Rich Olson hyping him up, and I'm out here. I just enter my paddle, my UNC pants, a Nike T-shirt, and I'm just ready to play.
Wait, so was he a senior?
He was a sophomore, just a year above.
Wow. So Sless is thinking, I am the next in line.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come in here and take this title. This guy's a rookie. I know that it's Brendan's brother, but you haven't really carved out your legacy yet. So, I
No,
mean, was there trash talk between you and Celeste? What was the
no,
lead up
never
like?
trash talk. We're good friends. There's no trash talk. We know that we played a lot over the years. So anyway, the finals go, and as I said, I have no entourage.
Yeah, but
So
you had to be nervous, man, or were
yeah,
you not?
of course, I would never be nervous playing right now in front of the whole school. You're not.
Yeah, you're a 15-year-old kid.
It's crazy. No one knows. The whole school's watching, and anyway, so I remember. So game. So it's best out of 3 series. Try to remember the specifics on who won. So I believe that Jake took the first game, and then I think I ended up taking the next 2, if my memory.
And
Or can't remember the specifics on. I know it was 2-1. Best
yeah.
I took it 2-1, but I don't know who won the first, who won the second.
So this and Bradley, thank you for the compliment. He says he loves the channel. Even Brendan is in here in the comments. He's saying he would have won it. He would have won it that year.
Commented.
He said he would have won it that year.
Brendan?
Yes.
How do you know?
But Brendan, I mean, he lost to Sheltzer, and I think that's even tougher to be in that first round. But then once you make it so deep, maybe the nerves subside. But the fact, was this a close game? I mean, knowing Sless's style, he likes to just get it back. He's a defensive style guy, right? Is Jake a defensive style player?
Which one?
Jake, the guy you played.
Yeah, Jake. No, Jake's just a solid player. He's got the strokes, a lot of spin on the ball, and our games were a little different. I'm more top spin, more
Power.
Both of us are very consistent, and yeah. So anyway,
well, when did you set? I got to ask more questions though about this match and the setting. When did you settle in? Were you really nervous during the game? Could you see it in his eyes that he was nervous? I mean, he just played Brendan, so he should know the stage. And the whole school's watching. Is it quiet out there? What is it like being there?
Yeah. So, I mean, as I said, I was very nervous. I think he was very nervous. I'm not a very talkative guy, so I was just, the young 15-year-old is pretty shy. I'm just thrown into high school. I think that's 4 months into my high school career, and I'm playing in front of the whole school. So yeah, it was a lot of pressure. I know my dad wanted to come watch, and I told him, "No, you're not coming to watch." Like it. I think there's a lot of pressure. It's assembly 9:15 in the morning on a Friday. You're never going to be ready for this moment.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine the pre-routine. It's kind of good that it's early in the day, though. If you had to, you couldn't even focus in your class if it was at like 12 o'clock noon. You wouldn't have made it
Nothing,
through the day.
no, nothing can really prepare you for this. Like you can play ping pong your whole life, but you're only playing in front of your family, or you're only playing in front of your friends, and then you're thrown in this world. And I mean, look, man, the feeling of winning, that tournament, and you're holding around the trophy all day. Everyone had just watched you in assembly. Like, yeah, does it feel good? You're damn right it feels good.
I mean that's what you live for. And would you say it was a well played match, or it's just survival? Is it just survival when you're in?
It's not well played in that atmosphere. First of all, the tables that we play with in the John Singer tournament are, be honest, they're complete garbage. The tables are bad, so you're already dealing with that, but you adjust to it. And then, when you're playing in front of a gym in front of a whole school, the acoustics are all different. You're nervous. There's
Mhm.
so much space in a basketball gym,
And
and
it's quiet, right?
quiet. You just hear the bouncing of the balls, calling of the score, and you try and lose your cool. And
And you're a freshman, and the crowd is with this guy, is with Celeste. They
I
know
think
him.
maybe the crowd also probably just is probably just happy they're not in class right now too. So but I don't know if I know I think I had, because I had Brendan's grade on my side, I had the seniors on my side rooting for me. So I think that sort of got me going sometimes. I got Sam Proper on my side, Daniel Fetter, David Glasser.
Oh my
I just got the legends
Yeah.
on, the Friend Central legends,
The
pulling for me.
the
So
establishment.
yeah, so like that thing that always helps. It always helps.
Oh, yeah, and the fact that I mean, so would you pick Brendan's brain a lot throughout the process, like, a about this tournament?
No, I didn't. I think Brendan was salty that he wasn't there. So I don't know if he had advice.
That's exactly what I would be thinking, to see little bro, because he only won 1 title, and
He
that's the
only won
thing, like,
one, but it's
I
nice.
thought he always won more because of the family name, and so Brendan only won a title.
Brendan only got a title, and yeah, I'm sure he would love to talk about his title.
But, yeah,
But obviously, Warner, Jake, and I had to lose, unfortunately, and I think that we've played a lot since, and I mean, he's a serious player, and his brother, great ping pong player, and I think you should definitely try to get Lou Schlesinger on this pod, because
yeah. I
that
don't
guy
know if
knows how
Lou
to
went
play.
4 for 4, though.
He did not go 4 for 4, but he also didn't play every year because
Oh, yeah, that's another controversy,
yeah,
and we're
that's
going
another issue. This isn't about him though.
that's another issue.
He's a
So,
total player.
the fact is that I'm sure that Brendan would argue about eras. Do you think he even had a tougher era than you had?
I don't know Brennan's era, to be honest with you. Like I think that I had a gauntlet of people. I got Sless, I got Shelter, I got Raj, I got Declan, I got I got Alex Margolis. I actually don't even know if he entered, but I had Brendan, but
Exactly, in the shadow, but when you're a freshman, you win that championship. I mean, that is unbelievable. That's one of the great memories, isn't it?
oh, high school. Yeah, I mean, entering high school, getting a title is, yeah, it's great.
Do you remember the final game? Like, were you up comfortably?
Honestly, don't remember the specifics, and I remember the next year actually a little better in the title.
Right,
Yet
right.
to talk about, but
So let's bounce to sophomore year. You're the marked man. Did you, during your sophomore year, have any shelter-like games in the early rounds where the crowd's getting behind like an underdog, you're defending the title? I'm sure that environment is just really tough.
yeah. Again, like I don't remember who I know, I had a target on my back sophomore year, the defending title. Like this guy's coming in, cocky freshman winning a championship. So yeah, that felt good. I know the Final Four that year there were some newcomers. Declan entered the scene. So the Final Four that year was. I feel like Shelter probably made it again. Declan, me,
And Sless.
I don't know if he made. I think. I don't know. I feel like maybe Reed DeSabino might have been in there. I don't remember
Wow.
I don't remember.
Wow. Was he a teacher at the time?
Oh, he's been a teacher his whole life.
Oh, big DJ Reed, man.
So,
throwing that frisbee around, the
yeah,
Oakleys, the watch, everything.
But yeah, I think people were suspecting again maybe a rematch, me versus Les. And then I want to say Declan upsets Les, and then it turns out the championship is going to be me versus Declan. Tennis teammates, you never know who you're going to go to war with, and I was nervous again, but a little more confident this year because this was my second.
Right.
I've been around this atmosphere, and but yeah, so I'm playing him, and I remember I lose the first game, and I'm like, wow,
and he's got his grade is very flamboyant,
very
loud.
He's got the crowd on his side.
He's got some crazy, and Declan's he's not irrationally confident, but the guy's almost like a bully. You know what I mean? He's an alpha person. He doesn't shy away from the moments, really. Would you say that about Declan, Wes?
Yeah, he's got a lot of attitude.
He has a lot of attitude. He's not like a Sless. He's not like salt of the earth.
He's a tennis player. It's not a coincidence that that tennis players happen to do better in these tournaments. So yeah, so he wins the first game. The crowd's on his side.
Guy's an alpha. Guy's an alpha.
Guys, I remember I'm in my Chicago Bulls sweatpants. I'm in a white t-shirt. I still have it.
So you had to do up your introductions from sophomore year. I mean, that had to be better than.
No, I don't need introductions. I'm just out here, and
you don't need. That's bush league to you. Interesting.
So I lose the first game. We switch sides, and I'm thinking like, wow, like this. I just gotta bounce back. I got a second game. I kick his ass. Just that's where that's how a champion. I just go out there and I kick his ass, put on a clinic, hitting backhands, forehands. I am back in my element.
He woke up a beast.
He did not. You don't just win game one. So anyway, switch sides, game 3.
And a stare down across the net and just
stare down. I think at this point, pressure's probably still on me because
you're the champ.
I'm the champ. No one's really expecting anything from Declan, and I'm the champ, so people still. Anyway, I don't remember the score of game 3, but I pulled it out and.
Think Declan got tight though? Can you remember that?
I think Declan got tight. I think that as the game went along and as game 3 got further along, and I was I want to say I was pulling away. Got a little more confident, got the juices flowing, and I just was able to play more free. Again, you don't play as free as you want in this atmosphere.
Yeah.
I remember, there was a big point where, my backhand, and I have a big backhand, and I whiff the whole shot in front of the whole school. You never want that to happen. But
got to put it behind you. It's one play. One point
behind you. You got to put it behind you. Yeah.
I'm sure I'm curious about the pace of the serving because some games like that with so much pressure, I'm sure Declan was teeing it up like every 3 seconds. He was rushing through it almost. I'm sure that occurs in those finals where you're not taking a lot of time between serves. I'm sure there's a lot of returns I'm sure there's a lot of 1 or 2 point shots in that scenario.
Oh yeah. There's not a lot of good points. I mean, there's not a lot of good points at all. It's but all that really matters is that end result. We got that handshake. Then afterwards, you shake Mr. Kennedy, Mr. McFarland's hand you that trophy, hoist that over my mouth, over my head, and I'm I'm a two-time champ.
And now you're winning, and now you're invincible. You're a two-time champ, and Declan's thinking. When you looked at Declan, you're probably like, this guy's going to be a force for a long, long time.
Oh, for sure. You know these guys. Like, you know you're gonna go to war with them in this tournament every February. You know the hitters.
You know it's going to be an absolute war. Actually, we have somebody very close to your family. We have Gabe, and for Gabe, it's very tough. He's in the shadow of all those championships. He's kind of the
Is he
Cooper.
joining the stream?
He's one of the Cooper Mannings of the stream. He might want to stop in for a little bit. I think we should do maybe a couple of more minutes of just one-on-one
Yeah. That's cool.
before Gabriel comes in. So then I want to get to this junior year, the great Raj Singh enters in. And I mean, Raj Singh, he kind of took a circuitous route. He actually went to Marple for 1 year in middle school, and then he reemerged back in high school. And you knew about him playing tennis. What did Sanjay give you a heads up on him? Did you have any? Did it come out of nowhere? His prowess in ping
I
pong.
mean, I knew Raj from tennis. Obviously, we would later actually be doubles partners my senior year.
Yeah,
Great player, great tennis player, great guy, and
great teammate. Great teammate.
great
Oh, the guy
teammate,
would have on your team.
and I heard about his game, and I wasn't worried. I saw the draw, saw I was matched up against him, and I was ready. Like, I heard he's a good player. We had played practice games before. I had won, so I was like, you know what? But it's a 1-game series, as I told you. You it's a 1-game series. You never know.
That
So,
is
but
unbelievable.
I'll never forget it.
I cannot believe you got past all those 1-game series. You must have been so nervous in those early games. And when you play against real crappy players, are you just pushing it, just hoping for them to screw it up?
Yeah, when you're playing against worse players, you don't have to do that much. You just gotta play your game and return a couple balls, and
But you got to survive.
yeah, you gotta survive. So anyway, I remember junior year, I got a 14-8 lead against Raj, and I'm like, okay, 7 more points, I'm advancing, and fall apart, choke, and
Not him. Did he have a lot of people?
I don't know. I don't remember. I had it on my racket. I think you can't look ahead in tennis or ping pong, and I think I was looking ahead a little bit, and Raj sort of pounced, took advantage, and he moved on, and the rest. I think he got the next 2 titles.
When you saw him win those titles, there must have been some relief. Like, this guy is just,
I mean, there was
one of the
relief,
greats.
but at the same time, I know that I had him in that game, and I know that you never know. If I could have gotten that three-peat, who knows where my life would be right now? Like, who knows what I would be doing? If I had a three-peat on my hand, I would have joined, Kobe, Shaq, MJ. This just a it's just a strong group of people who have three.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's always will be a regret in my life, in my athletic career, but
Right.
I
Right.
think I can leave, I can leave high school knowing, I got 2 of 4, so
You got 2 of 4, and you know what? And then
senior year,
and
yeah, so
senior year just fell apart.
well, senior year, I actually got the flu and, not coronavirus. I got the flu, and I unfortunately got defaulted by,
And
Bill
that was
Kennedy.
and that was destiny, and it's a shame
Just a
because
little
they
disrespect to default, a two-time champion of the game, because I was sick.
but it's sad because they were probably just trying to push the young guys like
I
Raj.
think that yeah, I think that there was a little of both. Like, I was sort of over it.
Politically.
It's they're ready for the next step of the next step, and it's fine. The next chapter, and I can live with that.
It's sad that, some people will think that, like, as you got older, do some critics maybe say, like, you weren't the same guy, or do you just you believe you're the same guy?
I think I'll always be the same guy. I think that I've picked up a paddle. I'm not a consistent player anymore, but I'm able to. I can beat I can still kick the casual ping pong player's ass. I pick up that paddle, I get my game back, and I get going. So I remember back when I worked at the NBA. There was there was a ping pong table, and
Mhm.
I was just taking bets.
And you got 2 rings, you have 2 titles, and also you've never lost the title. And for Jake Schlesinger, that guy has maybe lost how many titles? 2 or 3 titles?
He's lost 2 titles, and just for him to lose to the Kaminsky's back-to-back years, it's something that's sort of gotta eat at him.
It really does, and you always have that trump card when you're playing with him even for fun, even when you're just
Exactly,
smacking it
we
around.
got the pictures, me and Jake, we're great friends today, and, we'll always talk about those days,
And you know what? He'll say it doesn't bother him, but deep somewhere it does, right?
it might, for sure, but luckily, he had Lou come and take the torch, and he's, there's a hell of a family, hell of ping pong players, and
Yeah,
yeah.
Lou's unbelievable, and then Lou took the torch from Raj, and it's crazy how many young kids have success in this John Singer tournament. It's crazy how the freshmen, maybe they're
It's
so
crazy,
naive.
teachers participate in that too.
Mhm.
It's just it's
But
a
but
great
but when
it's a
you
great
were a junior, did you use the same paddle you have now?
I've been using the same paddle for over 10 years.
Oh, good. I was about to say because I thought you changed paddles.
No, God, no. If I change paddles, I'm gonna enter that tournament. I don't play. I'm not playing with a different paddle.
This was, but you were up against Declan's, the Celestes, that was the golden age. It really was,
Yeah,
and just
it was like today. It's like the tennis world today. Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, Andy Murray. It's the golden era. It's the golden era of tennis.
it's top heavy, and the fans got what they wanted because they got real treats. And year after year, you stayed in that same school. There was no transferring out. And I also feel with ping pong now, with the advance of technology, that was just even more of a golden age back maybe that at that
Exactly.
time.
I don't know the era right now at Friend Central and anything, but I think that I can
Yeah.
confidently say that that ping pong era will never match the era that I played in. All these young guys are soft as Charles Barkley would say.
They're probably trying all sorts of crazy shots, and you just had so much discipline.
I
And these young kids now, they're working with technology that's insane. And I mean, you can't even recognize the game anymore.
No, it's part of it probably is load management and players resting, but
Yeah.
maybe like CTE, but you never,
And you know what? You were an Iron Man because you would always, like, when people would ask you to go out for a charity match, you would always answer that call. Where the guys now, they think they're such hot stuff, they want to
yeah.
rest for these tournaments. You're always out there with the public. And it's unbelievable. Like, I saw you at the cafeteria, like you're a regular guy. And I was able to talk to you like you're a regular guy. And it's such a blessing to get to know like a champion. And you just treat me like a regular guy. And that's the point. That's the point, Wes. I mean,
At the end of the day, I don't do this for myself. I do it for my family. I do it for people like you. I don't. I like to eat lunch. I like to eat turkey sandwiches, chicken nuggets. Cereal. I drink coffee. I'm just a guy.
regular, even those hot dogs that would bounce. Oh,
Even those
God.
mini hot dogs, I would shake them off.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
I'm a Bulls fan. I'm just a guy who's
You're just a regular freaking guy.
I'm a guy with a paddle.
You're a guy that just happens to be exceptional
Yeah,
at ping
friends,
pong. And
ask me about play charity. Like, of course I'm gonna play charity because I'm just trying to get more work in. I'm trying to get all the reps in I can get to be a better player than I was yesterday.
you know what? I'm gonna talk to some people because I knew Raj because me and him graduated the same class. So we were similar. Yeah, we're similar. We're of similar age, and I think that we could get some kind of charity, like throwback legendary event maybe.
Man, I mean, I would fly there in a heartbeat.
But to get you on here, to get you on the stream, you've come on a couple of my channels. Just the support over the years just means so much.
No, I mean, anytime.
And now you're out on the West Coast. It is Wes. It is a champion. And
I think Gabe was looking to join this stream.
I don't know if Gabe has a move. I mean, it must be a sore subject for him because he
I mean,
wasn't able to
Gabe
go
is
for the
yeah.
run.
I mean, there's only one way to find out.
I mean, but he was more of an interesting, rebellious personality, and he tried to kind of stem his own path at Harridan High School. And it's very tough to live with two brothers like that. You know,
It is. You grow up in the shadows.
You're Cooper. He's Cooper. Oh, the new age. You know what? I might be a little bit busy. Should I try? Should we try to get Gabriel on? You think we should try?
Let's see
He's
if
still here.
Let's see if he can hop on.
Let's see if he's still here. But that was unbelievable. I'm going to archive those 35 minutes, and it's always great. And I'm sure that he could talk about his own experiences here. Let's see if he wants to join. He's going to have to text me back. Yeah.
Is he hopping in?
Let's see if we can get him hopping in. I'm going to invite him now, but yeah, it's just always great to catch up and talk about some of the great times.
I mean, look, it's always a special to relive these moments, and it's great.
You got to have a picture of you winning the chip. All right.
So, I do. If you want to see it.
Yeah, sure, if you don't mind.
I got it.
So we're going to try to get Raj on, maybe Jeremy Lin.
Oof. Those are some legends.
Yeah, just to, because, again, I mean, you had to even beat Alon Dreyfus, Jordan Lukoff. I mean, there's a lot.
I mean, those are names that I haven't thought about in a long time.
So you're doing all right, man? And during this time, I hope that we could get things fired up soon with the virus. Oh, that's a beautiful picture. There he is. Got him on board. GRA here to close us out, man. How you doing, buddy?
Spence, I'm doing great. I've just been listening to the great conversation. And just kind of go on. It was, it was really tough living in the shadow of two ping pong champions, my childhood, and it's definitely something I really dealt with.
It's deep. It's deep, Gabriel, and
here I am. I'm 12, and my brother he's flying all over the world playing these matches. And
I know it's a tough thing for anybody to deal with, for sure.
And the age gap, but that probably made you so strong. And then the media, Gabriel. I mean, they would be over your house, and what are you, like 10 years old, and they were filming you, watching you play, and I mean, you probably dislike the sport because of your brothers. I mean, right? Because everyone's like, this is the phenom. He's going to win 3 straight.
Actually, so one of the best moments of I didn't even bring this story up, but I was getting delivery. I think I got delivery Mikado one day, as you know, Mikado, Spencer.
Oh, that's a classic miso soup chicken teriyaki.
I answer the door, get my food, and we order from them a lot, so we know the delivery people. And the guy says, "Wait, are you the guy who won the ping pong championship?" And I say, "I am." Then I sign the check, thank him for the food, and eat my sushi. It was just the little things like that to be ready.
Yeah, it was tough.
You signed it. Did you give him a ping pong champion signature?
I mean, I gave him a huge tip and a huge signature, and
and a picture.
Huge tip on my mom's credit card, and I mean,
yeah. There I am in the school cafeteria, and everyone's going up to me. They're saying, can your brother give me an autograph? Can you get me tickets to the match? And I'm like, look, I can do my best, but they're expensive. It's tough. It was overwhelming. And, have someone, he's going to Buenos Aires, he's going to Argentina. Before I know it, he's in LA playing, 16-year-old on the circuit. I mean, it was just a crazy experience.
It was a crazy experience, and the 2 titles in a row, and when he was living in that space, what, 2010? No, it was like 2008.
I mean, at one point we had to change our address. Getting some fan mail.
Well, why? Because of the Raj match or something?
I mean, we were getting a lot of fan mail after that championship over Sless, and leading into that second year, there was so much hype that.
Just the women too. I mean, you had
the women.
I was 10 years old and women were stripping for me. It was.
I know.
Crazy.
Condoms. You had to keep your condoms with you.
even being in LA sometimes, I'll get recognized sometimes. Like, hey, I'll be walking down the street, like walking in Brentwood, going to the farmer's market, and someone taps me on the shoulder and they're like, pull up the picture that I showed you, like point to me. Is that you? And I'm just like, look,
man, you moved out of here because you just want a new life, man. You just want to blend in.
I just want to blend in. And I joined this world I don't need to stick out, I want to blend in.
That's why you don't have the entourage. You don't need the cheerleaders. That goes back to your humbleness, like we talked about with your introduction.
Exactly.
And Gabe, like your friends, everybody was in class, but you probably got to sneak out, right? And you saw your brothers win the titles, right?
Well, it's funny. I went to the first one.
I actually never knew that. Fun fact. It's just finding that information.
I went to that match, and it was a great match. And obviously there was a lot of advertisers, and I kind of was front row. I got a picture with the commissioner, which was really nice.
Oh, Tom Farley. Great.
Yeah,
yeah.
But the other ones, I was not there. I was not in attendance. It was tough. There was a lot of media, and people were. It was a little bit too much.
Were you huddling by the radio?
I think I was huddling by the radio. I mean, I remember the broadcast was very intense, and but it was tough for everyone. He lost, and we start getting people in the mail. They're pissed. They were diehard fans, and they couldn't believe it.
Yeah, like I looked at it when when Federer lost. Whenever Federer loses the championship, it's always so upsetting. And I think that
for the Masters, yes,
keep in stride and just keep it going. He's my idol on the court, and I just try to model my game after him. Unfortunately, I don't have the hair that he has, but
yeah,
that could be tough.
So actually, West, because of stress after losing all those titles. Titles.
Come on, living a good life.
He started losing his hair. I mean, it's a tough subject.
I mean, it's actually funny when, obviously some jealousy will come into play, like here with Gabe, where he's just making up lies about me losing my hair, and
So Wes, tell me about Gabe's style though. Growing up, could you see the potential with this kid? How would he have fared?
I was on the tennis circuit. I wasn't on the ping pong circuit.
We'll never know what Gabe could have been because he didn't make it to Friends Central. Like he got out of there. He didn't go to high school there. So I think that Gabe could have. I don't know that he could have won a title, but Gabe, he grew up with us and he modeled his two-handed backhand after me. And I could see the progress in Gabe as the year for sure.
I don't know if you knew this, but I actually played a U.S. ping pong national tournament in New York once, and I lost in the first round, and my career basically ended after that.
Yeah, that says a lot about Gabe. And
it took a lot of hard work to get.
Well, it took a lot. I was in New York. I brought my paddle. I actually put a grip on it, and I just got crushed in the first round. It was too much spin. I kind of had a power style that couldn't translate to the circuit the way Wes and Celeste and
actually
rates of that time really did.
And how old were you at the time? I
was 15. It was after Wes had lost a couple championships, a couple years later,
and you were, and then your brothers also went their separate ways, So
I just got a text actually from Hannah who declared that she entered the tournament actually. And lost in the first round to Mr. May.
Look at this. Brendan, a $5 donation for the stream. I really thank you.
Yeah, people like Brendan Kaminsky really keeping it going,
Hannah,
he's a one-time champ. I maybe have to get him on here and talk about his era. That'll even
be
more interesting.
After I graduated, I'm a freshman at University of Arizona. For like 3 seconds. And then Hannah is a freshman and obviously she's got to enter the tournament. But she and Hannah's a good player, she grew up playing us and her and Gabe had a lot of battles over the years. And but she ran into Mr. O, as the kids would call him, Mr. O. She lost. But it's always nice to see
the PE teacher.
Yeah, PE teacher.
You Mr. O, but he's a lower school PE teacher. He still couldn't qualify
Sorry, Hannah actually lost in the second round.
to Mr. O.
Yeah, she won her first round, so she didn't completely. To Mr. O.
That's a tough match, and he's got all the fans on his side.
Oh, I mean, he's one of the most respected.
He's one of those guys, you know.
I guess he was before he got.
He's like James Blake. He has all those fans. Like this is his major. He's usually a good in the first couple rounds, and
yeah, he's a jokester.
Draw.
Yeah, he's a jokester. You know, he's always trying to mess around.
And his style, he always tries to get in your head. That's a brutal draw.
That's a tough matchup for Hannah, but I'm happy that she at least, got a taste of what it's like to play in that tournament. For sure.
Right. And I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, Wes, when your kids come around, I mean, just the pressure.
They're going to hear the story. Wes was famous when he was 15. He was signing autographs for the elementary kids. I mean, it was a whole thing,
But Dave, you lived in the shadow, and for you to not go like insane or stay away from, just the
that guy who played high school basketball the same year as LeBron, named Lenny.
Lenny Cook.
Yeah, I mean, West was like Lenny Cook. He could have been LeBron. I mean, he was on his.
Are you kidding me? He's a 2-time champion.
Yeah. So
hey, come on now, man.
As you know, I went to China last year.
He's the best brother out of all of them, man.
He really fell off with the ping pong, and he had his moment, but.
No, he had one game where he was up on a feisty Raj. He lost to Raj Singh. He's on the Mount
Rushmore. He lost all of his advertisers. I mean, the media stopped. It really was.
Come on, he went to the West Coast. It was all political too. They were trying to get this young wage going. And then there was a turnover with the commissioners in that tournament. There was such turnover back then.
It was a very unfair year. You had. A lot of foul play on the referees.
They were sick of Kaminsky's. It was Kaminsky fatigue, a dynasty. They wanted to see new blood, and they got that with Declan and Raj that went back and forth for years.
That's right. But when I went to China, I went to Shanghai, 2 years ago in Mexico City, and I'm out there signing autographs. Like, people still remember. I'm global. I'm not just a Philadelphia guy. I'm out there. People are wearing my jerseys, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know people still remembered me. And when stuff like that is
brings you back, man. And whenever you're down, you can remember yourself walking into Shabbat as a 15-year-old kid and slaying the beast.
Yeah, I mean, dragon signing autographs for Rabbi Mendy.
Rabbi Mendy. There's a guy who actually had some battles with Rabbi Mendy Cohen. Gabe knows this about him.
This has been incredible. This has been such a treat. And I'm sure that for all the ping pong players out there, I mean, I'm already getting texts from guys that played against you and that are listening to this stream. I mean, it's incredible. Incredible.
I'm happy to do this, anytime you want to.
No, and with what's going on right now in the world, it's just great. People could hear the stories and could kind of escape back into that time.
Definitely.
Simpler times. It was a blast. I think we're good here, you guys. You loved it?
Hey, loved it. Before I leave, let me just give you there's my paddle.
So you always use the turquoise side? Is that forehands or backhand is turquoise?
Just sort of whatever you got.
Whatever you're feeling.
Yeah. So thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, it was great. And GK, we'll try to get Glickman on here soon. And
you gotta see if you can get Brendan on here, because there's
an OG.
If you want to get his side of this, what happened his senior year, I would love to hear it. I would just.
Look at this. GK already getting advertising requests.
Unbelievable.
The kid's living the good life still. Riding your coattails, right?
Yep.
Said it was great content.
It's great to be here.
This is going to be a classic one. All right, guys, take care. What a time.
Great time.
Stay here. I might be able to talk to you.